Hey guys, Coach Brian Waldo here. I am here today with Justin Trusoni, a good friend of mine. Thanks for sitting down with me and talking a little bit today.
Thank you.
Justin, I have to say, has been through like an amazing, ultimately amazing transformation in his life in the last few years. And guys, I say years because, transformations are not something that happens in 8 weeks. Transformation is something that happens over the course of time. It's a process. And part of why I invited Justin to come in and talk today is that I want him to share kind of some of that process with you so that you can understand more about what a true transformation really is. So Justin, could you start off by just maybe sharing a little bit with our listeners here what life was like before you kind of decided to get on the bandwagon with becoming more physically active, eating better, finding balance in your life, that kind of thing?
So most of my life, I've been the big kid. I've been always, was kind of always overweight. My metabolism was pretty low. And I was getting to the point where I was in pain. I would get done with work and my feet would be absolutely on fire. My knees were hurting bad. It was starting to hinder me on a lot of things. I've got 2 young boys at home, and things started hitting me, and I started realizing that I was having troubles, and I didn't know what to do. I had a family member that found out he had type 2 diabetes, and that was definitely a hit to us, and I knew that was something that I could be dealing with at some point too if I didn't start doing something. So it was, the pain alone was tough. When I couldn't even move sometimes, get out of bed and I was sore. I wasn't doing anything, I was just working. I was standing up. And to me, it couldn't get any worse at that point than that, so.
Cool. Well, thanks for sharing that, Justin. Now, there kind of was a pivotal time, when you made this decision to change. Can you share a little bit about that?
I guess people have heard the term rock bottom. To me, it makes a lot. It's a term that I've used before. One day I just looked in the mirror. I realized that I had done over and done myself. I kind of just lost my way. I didn't know what to do. I was at the probably the worst point in my life. I wasn't happy with myself. To tell you the truth, I was kind of disgusted with myself and the way I looked and the way I had let myself go. And I looked in the mirror and I was like, something's got to change. So I went and I got my shoes on and I walked out the door, and my wife was just kind of looked at me because I didn't walk. I didn't ever go for walks. I didn't do any of that stuff. And I just said, I'll be back. Don't worry about me. I'll be all right. And I took a walk and I was slow and I cried. I cried insanely. I don't remember how many times I probably did, but because I realized that something had to give, and it was giving away very quickly. I walked for about a mile, and during that mile, I was hurting bad. During that time, that whole time, I realized I can't even walk a normal way without hurting. So something's going on. I've got to do something. And I came home, and my wife was obviously very concerned, and I told her, I'm like, something's wrong here. And we sat down and we talked. And I said, I've got to do something. I don't know what to do, but I've got to do something. And so from then on, we together, she's been absolutely my rock. Together, we've been
That's awesome.
doing it together. She's given me that support that I needed. She's kind of let me go off and do what I needed to do without, stopping me. And she's like, you know what? If you need to do whatever you need to do, I'm going to help as much as I possibly can. And so we started by looking into just gyms. So I found a 30-day trial at one of the local gyms here, and then I found another 30-day trial just to see what I could find. And eventually I realized that I'm not gonna, I didn't know what to do, so I started researching, Googling everything I could possibly do just to figure out anything.
So you Googled workouts and
Yeah.
you were like, what do I do with this when I go to the gym? Where do I start?
Exactly, and one of the things in my head that I thought for sure that you go on and get on the bike or the elliptical or the treadmill and you go and do that for an hour. And I figured, if this is how I gotta start, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start doing it that way. So I did. Every day I would go before work or after work, I would go to the gym and I would do that. But I started realizing that the one biggest thing, I guess, for me was that I always got away from, I never really got close to like the weight area because I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to do anything with weights, and I wasn't going to get hurt because I was kind of scared of them. And so eventually I started talking to the manager of the gym, and I said, hey, what do I need to do here? Because I see all these guys doing this stuff, they're lifting. I'm interested. Obviously they're doing good. And she told me, she's like, that's part of the biggest thing is that weightlifting with cardio is this is how you lose weight and get stronger, which is going to build muscle and it's going to help you lose even more weight. She's like, I would suggest, because one thing she did in her previous life was she was a personal trainer. So she gave me the card of one of the personal trainers there, and she said, just talk to him, see what you can do. So I sat down and talked to him, did a free consultation, and he explained, he's like, yep, I can give you a hand, I can show you how to do this. He's like, because it's going to be better than just sitting on a treadmill and doing this. You're going to get
doing the same thing forever type of thing.
And you're just going to kind of quit. You're not going to, because it's boring, and you're not going to just want to do that. You need variety. And so I took it and invested in myself. I took some money and I invested in myself, because that's the biggest thing, is you have to invest in yourself. And I went and I learned how to do the basics, how to do the things so I knew how to not get hurt, how to do it so I could improve myself and get stronger and faster and be better, to do it that way. And it was...
You got off to a good start with all that.
I did, yeah, and that helped significantly. It made all the difference. Because I probably would have just been, I probably would have quit, if I had done it by myself.
And I assume you started off with some basic nutrition changes too during that time.
Most definitely. He started working with, telling me, hey, we gotta, stay away from the fast food. We gotta, he's like, if you drink pop, we gotta start looking away, trying to work your way away from that. More water, definitely more water was a huge thing. Eating different types of food that is going to be a lot more nutritionally balanced to help your body, because you can do all this work, but if you're not putting all the good things in your body, it's not going to do anything. You can't overwork a bad nutrition plan, so.
Yep, you can't beat bad nutrition, so.
That's right.
That's right. Well, hey, it sounds like you got off to a great start, but was there ever a time when you kind of hit a wall in your progress or whatever?
Absolutely. I did all this by myself for about a year and a half. But the last 6 months, I started to falter. I was having, you can only, find workouts online so much, and you can only get to a point where things don't, where you stop seeing results, where your motivation's gonna start kind of faltering, and it's gonna start, sputtering out. And
So there's like a mental struggle there and maybe a physical struggle at the
it
same
is,
time.
and a lot of it too is I had the support at home, but I didn't have the support of somebody that knew what I needed to do to get to the next level. So I was kind of sitting at this plateau where I was like, I didn't know where to go from there. And I finally went home and I just told my wife, I said, I'm not getting enough out of this. I don't know what to do. I'm having a trouble. And then I kind of left it at that. I figured, you know what, we'll have to kind of work on figuring out something else. And I continued researching. That's the biggest thing right now is sometimes it's the research you have to do to really put in those hours to figure out different things. But somehow, miraculously, she did her research and she found something. And she found the advertisement for Training for Warriors.
Training for Warriors.
And
Hello,
sir. She found your advertisement, and one day I walked in the house from work, and she goes, "Hey, do you know that Training for Warriors? Have you ever heard of it?" I go, "I don't know, where is that?" And she's like, "It's right down the road from Dairy Queen. You know, everyone drives past Dairy Queen around here."
Everybody knows where that is. Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, it's in the strip mall." Yeah. So she's like, you know, maybe, you know, see if you can, you know, find anything about it. So I went on Facebook and I said, "Hey, does anyone know in the community about this place? You know, what it's about?" And I got swarmed with messages on that post. Like everyone, there's nothing bad about it. It was, "Hey, this place is amazing. The coaches are amazing. It's a family system." But I got messaged by one person, and she told me her whole story, and she just laid it out. She said, "Hey, this is what this place is about. Why don't you come and join us and you know, and talk to us?" So I got invited for July 4th, which is, you know, a holiday workout, and I had no idea what I was getting into. But the greatest thing was that I walked in the door, and it was I got welcomed so much right away. And I came in and I talked to the coaches, and they're like, "This is exactly what you're looking for." I told them what I needed. You know, I needed a support system. I needed I needed help, that, you know, that I needed guidance is really what it was. Is I needed that guide to give me a help with my path. Because I started a journey, you know, when I first started this, and that's what I've always used as my term, is that it's a journey, and we all start this path through this journey. And it was a way to get led down the path as a guide. I needed that guide, and I didn't have that before. I was just kind of going around, just trying to figure out where I was going, and I was getting lost. And I was teamed up with a guy that was probably 20 years older than me, and he pushed me hard. And I was like, I'm 31 years old, and this guy is kicking the crap out of me, and he is showing me up like no tomorrow. But it also pushed me to know that this is exactly where I needed to be. This is exactly the support and the guidance that I needed to be, because the coaches are always there. They're always there for the whole hour that you're here, and they're always gonna be there. And they're gonna give you a hand. They're gonna modify things if you have knee issues or shoulder issues, and you aren't able to do what we're, you know, declaring here. They'll change it so it makes it easier, and that's the biggest thing, because I've had injuries. I've gone through.
Take a different path sometimes.
Exactly, and it makes all the difference with being able to do that, because you're guided through it the whole time, and you're not doing it alone.
Well, you've done an awesome job, Justin. I have to tell you that.
Thank you.
I will vouch for that 100%. You know, how much weight are you down now? Like, it's a lot.
It's over 100 pounds.
Over 100 pounds. That's fantastic. Gotta love that, huh? 100 pounds. Can you believe it? Like, like Justin's brought up before, like, if you had to pick up a 100-pound weight and carry it around all day, like what that, you know.
That's what I used to do.
Yeah.
All day, yeah.
Yeah, amazing story. Well, what's next? Like, you know, you've accomplished so much in the last 2 or 3 years, and you've put yourself in a different place in your life. Can you tell us about that?
So about a year ago, a year and a half ago, I started the process of becoming a coach myself. I got my certification to become a certified personal trainer, because I realized that, you know what, I've been helped so much in my life that, and through here that I needed to be able to turn that around and return that to other people that need that help. Because without the help that I was given, I wouldn't have gotten where I am today and where I will be, in a year, 5 years from now. So now it's my turn to return that to other people and to help those other people get through that path so they don't have to go it alone. Because that's the biggest thing, is that not going at it alone is very important, to be guided. And I want to be that guide for other people. And so now becoming a coach here at Training for Warriors, it's absolutely one of my dreams, and I'm very glad to be able to start doing that. I'm excited. I'm excited to help other people that need this.
Well, Justin, I'm really proud of you. All the coaches are here at
Thank you.
TFW. And final note, as I would say, is that guys, there's sometimes no better person to guide you through your transformation than somebody that's been there, okay? So I've been coaching for 30 years, but Justin's been through like a completely different experience than I have, and he can share things with you that I can't, and he can empathize with things with you that I cannot. So I tell you what, there's very few people in this world that are in that position, that are reaching out to try and help people. So if you are looking for help right now, I would highly encourage you to reach out to Justin and see what you can do to get started or where to start. He'll have suggestions and ideas for you after you sit down and chat. So Justin, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you, Brian, very much.
Wish you luck in your career as a trainer and a coach. And guys, look for us at www.tfweastmetro.net, and please share this story with others. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, guys.